with, I had to cut it out. What I was saying was the pieces that I have done with the foam core bottoms, or sorry, mat board bottoms, can be used currently in conjunction with my hollow bottom boxes to pretty much clip together easily enough. Now, if I don't use any of my hollow bottom parts, I can just show you really quick here how you can take a bunch of pieces and pretty much, you know, do whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to make you a quick little cave, just showing you what's possible with these new pieces. The support they have is great because it allows you to place them overhanging without having to worry about hollow bottoms or oddities. Caves are, of course, more generically shaped, and if I was using more of my other pieces involved in this, obviously I could go a little more all out and give you guys a really, really interesting shaped cave with terrain on top and spread it around. But you can see that inside there it's a nice little hollow cave. It holds together quite well. Now, on to reinforcing furniture. This one is a little bit different, mostly because the pieces are tighter. In cases, I will be giving you an example using a pre-made version of the Gothic Realms crypt wall, a finished version. This is actually already mat boarded of the crate, which gives it a lot more weight on the bottom, makes it stackable on top of other things, especially other small props. One example is with this one, which I have left hollow and will be doing with foam core. And as you can see, you can stack them. You don't have to worry about them falling over. You can put them over. You can lean them. They'll support their own weight. This is what I'm looking for when I'm doing my builds. Also, I will be doing stairs. The reason I'm doing stairs as well is there has to be a little adjustment on how this is handled. And I will be doing my second crypt wall using a piece of foam core and a chest from the Maiden using a small piece of foam core. Now I'm going to try to beat the 15-minute mark, so most of this will be gluing. I pre-cut the pieces, obviously. I did all the measuring, same as before with the risers. You want the same exact methods when you're doing stuff like this. Now, for the stairs itself, one of the things I had to take into account was here at the front, the step is lower and narrower. Now with a piece of foam core, this won't be a problem. But with a piece of mat board and tabs, you'll want to make sure that your front tab is going to be a little bit shallower than your other tabs, mostly because it's going to slip inside and under the step. When you go to put this in, the same again. I did not edge this piece. I'm a little shocked I did not edge this piece. That means I wasn't paying attention. Because this again goes inside the piece, I'm not too worried about the glue because the glue's all higher, and in the case of the Gothic Realms one, there's a little trick to it that I'm going to cover as soon as I go to glue it together. And again, you don't have to be really accurate. You just want to get that white edge bottom. Get rid of it so that it's not as showy. Take your glue, apply as normal, and in this case you'll want to make sure you line up the right ends. Obviously you want to put the tabs in all the right places. Now there's a little bit of a difference between mat board and foam core that will become apparent shortly. One of these is that foam core, you don't have the tabs to aim unless you add them. In fact, one of the neat things about foam core is you don't really need to add the tabs. It saves you a little bit of time. Surprisingly though, it does not add the same type of weight you get from mat board. Mat board's a little bit heavier, so it provides a much more durable basing for your piece. Now again, I want to take this piece, obviously keeping my narrow part to the front, and I'll line it up briefly here, just get it into place. And again, you just want to make sure you don't go in too deep, because if you do, you're just going to have issues later. This piece is much more professionally fitted than some of my other ones, so when I push down on the tops, should all pretty much clip into place. Now, I'm pretty sure that the bottom's lined up accurately and everything, so once I've got it all into place, unlike the other one, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Now, when it comes to doing edges, you're obviously going to want to make sure, again, that all your edges are nice and flush glued to your piece so that it's all nice and straight. And one of the things I had a problem with here was that the stairs are flimsy. Very flimsy. They don't hold right, they don't sit right. It was just a touch disturbing and a little problematic when I was actually making them. They warped on me, they bent out of shape. This way allows you to much better keep it straight, firm, and very simple. And as you can see here, voila, one bottom staircase. It sits nice and flat. This is pretty much dry. I could actually take this directly onto my gaming table. So I'll just set that aside to make sure it finishes drying 100%. Mostly it's better just to make sure. And we'll quickly do, again, in this case, one of the reasons I did it this way was to show you, this is a Gothic Realms piece, which means, unlike some of the other ones, it's got see-through parts. Now, it's highly unlikely in most cases you'd be able to see the white, but it'd be very visible. So in this case, I left the black up. The tabs themselves I spaced so that they line up with the inside pieces. And again, you don't need to use full-length tabs. Now, this is obviously a little bit of a pain in the ass to apply glue to, but it's well worth the time in the aftermath. It's not something you're really going to enjoy right up front. But when you start using these pieces on your table and you realize how much more durable they are, and the weight alone just keeps them from shifting, and they're more square, you'll find it's worth the time to put in a little bit of effort to make sure that everything works. Again, you just want to make sure you get all your edges. You want to put on enough glue for it to work well. I'm really hoping this video doesn't go over, because if it does, I'm going to have to do a fourth. And I'm sure you're all getting tired of hearing me talk by this point. And just quickly apply that last little layer of glue there. And again, the tabs help you line it all up. You don't have to worry too much about which side is front, as long as all your measurements were accurate. But you do want to make sure all your tabs get inside. Now, obviously, again, this is where my scoring tool would be very useful, but it has taken a brief little walk on me, mostly because I walked away for a bit. But there are all kinds of little tools you can use to push things like tabs into place. Once you're sure all the tabs are inside, obviously it's a little bit fun to get the tabs in. Make sure that the piece goes in, sits down flush. Now, I could leave it like this and just let it sit. The weight alone will cover most of it. But again, you probably want to make sure that you go along the sides and that the glue bonds evenly, and then quickly place it on the table. It's better to actually go with a flat surface, because then you're 100% sure that the bottom is all lined up. Now, again, part number 2, done. I've got a weighted piece of furniture or prop, and it looks really good, and as you can see from the angle, it's black on the inside. I could have taken the time to white edge the tabs, but I'm not as worried about it. That was a prototype piece from when somebody asked about Bristol board, which actually is slightly more firm than cardstock. Works really well. Now, the final pieces are going to be done out of foam core. Foam core in its best element is thick. Most people who use foam core from WorldWorks use the good old 3/16 inch, a nice thick foam core. It works really well. This is a pre-made, pre-cut piece for this chest, and unlike the other ones, like I said, you don't really need to apply any tabs to it. Just apply glue to the outside surface of the foam core, making sure to do a nice even coating. I've got a little bit too much here. Now, one of the tricks you can do is just to take some of it and put it on the other side. That way you're not wasting your time and effort and glue. And then you just take the piece and carefully, so you don't get glue all over everything, insert it in the bottom, insert it in the top, and then take it and push it down on a flat surface. Make sure it's nice and flat so it's all clean and smooth. Push in the sides, hold it for a second, allow it to dry. This is very important because this piece does not have tabs. In this case, this glue is wonderful. Give me about 3 more seconds and we are done. And there we got it. One maiden chest with a reinforced bottom, nice and durable. Again, you can stack it on top of other things. You can put it together with stuff. It's not going to fall over if it's leaning a bit forward, you know, like, well, it's going to fall over from its own weight. But if you put it on something, and you don't have to worry about the paper hollow on the bottom. And this, of course, also makes it a fully reinforced little box. The reason I mention this is mostly for stuff like the large bookcases and whatnot, things that are hollow bottomed but can be secured without turning fully into mat board like I've done in the past. Now I'm going to quickly throw together this one for you on the spot to show you how it can be made if I have enough time. I am currently unknown at running time. My thing doesn't have a video length, so I will quickly glue this one in. Again, you know, just apply your glue to the outside edge. Make sure you're using a glue that can bond the two structures together, obviously, or you won't get the support you want. And again, one of the nice things about foam core, especially if you're using the black on black, is that you don't have to worry too much about any edging or visible edge because it's already pretty much black. As well, in this case, while the item it's going into has the see-through points again, it does not have the white on it that you have to worry about those see-through points. And as I said, I pre-cut all these to fit perfectly so that they would go in smoothly. Now, that should be that. Again, put it on a nice flat surface, push it down, make sure it's in properly. Very important you support the long edges and the shorts. And there you have it. One finished Gothic Realms mat board, or foam core supported piece. Again, you put them side by side. They're pretty durable, they're pretty strong, they can just be quickly clipped together for whatever you need them for. Very useful for just quick placing props and keeping them nice and square. Okay, now on to the final one. Hopefully I have enough time for this or I'll have to edit out. Quickly I should mention things like the trees. One of the problems I had was that when I did them without gluing them down, they didn't sit flat. In this case, I've glued a piece of mat board to the bottom of each of them. As you can see, they sit nice and flat. They're bottom heavy. They don't fall over. The wind won't blow them over. They're really good and firm. They last really well, and they're beautiful little trees already. And it's just a simple matter of applying glue to the bottom of the piece, then pressing it down on foam core or mat board, and then cutting it out. For mat board, just edge in a decent green so that it's not noticeable. In foam core, what you can do is Matt's provided us with those handy dandy little parts for doing the edges of foam core when we're doing a masterboard. You can use those to make the surrounding part green. Now, because this is such a small piece, and really all I have left is big pieces, this is going to be a little bit annoying. Again, you want to make sure you have a nice quick square edge. Apparently my little square is also taking a walk. Yes, I do. It is perfect. Now, my pre-measurements of this I forgot, so I will quickly redo them. Again, I seem to have lost my ruler. This is not amusing. This is actually quite funny. I'm one of those weird people that can't seem to keep my stuff where it needs to be when I'm using it. Okay, well, I'll leave it at that for now. The pieces are easy. I mean, you just do the same thing with the risers. Cut and measure and trim and put them into place and glue them. I hope that you have enjoyed this little bit of Shattered Dragon's Cardstock Reinforcing, and I hope you find a use for it. Thank you very much. Take care, y'all.